Starting a woodworking project without a step-by-step plan may feel exciting at first, but that excitement often turns into confusion faster than most people expect. Many beginners believe that creativity means figuring things out as they go. They imagine measuring on the spot, cutting based on instinct, and adjusting the design in real time. In reality, this approach usually leads to wasted wood, uneven results, and frustration that slowly kills motivation. There is a hidden cost to building without a plan, and it goes far beyond money. Yes, you may ruin a board or buy extra materials because something went wrong, but the biggest loss is confidence. Every mistake that could have been avoided makes you doubt your ability. When doubt grows, action slows down, and when action slows down, progress almost stops. Think about assembling a complex piece of furniture. Imagine opening the box and finding no instructions. You might start with energy and curiosity, but after a few wrong connections, missing screws, and parts that do not align, that energy turns into stress. A woodworking project without a clear plan feels very similar. You're not just building wood, you're trying to solve a puzzle without seeing the final picture. Beginners especially need structure because they do not yet have the experience to improvise effectively. Experienced builders can adapt when something unexpected happens. They have built dozens of projects. They understand how wood behaves, how joints hold, and how measurements affect balance. A beginner is still learning these fundamentals. Trying to improvise at this stage is like trying to write a novel before learning basic grammar. A step-by-step plan removes unnecessary decisions. Instead of wondering what to do next, you follow a clear sequence. First measure, then cut, then assemble, then sand. This clarity reduces anxiety. It allows you to focus on doing the task well instead of constantly asking yourself if you're doing the right thing. When the path is clear, action becomes smoother. Clarity also creates momentum. When you complete one step successfully, you feel a small sense of progress. That feeling pushes you forward. It makes you want to complete the next step. Over time, these small wins build confidence. Confidence makes you work with more care. Care leads to better results. Better results strengthen motivation. This cycle is powerful and often underestimated. Another major advantage of working with proven plans is accuracy. Good plans are tested, measurements are already calculated, angles are defined, material sizes are realistic. Instead of guessing how wide a shelf should be or how deep a table needs to stand firmly, you rely on information that has worked before. This reduces trial and error dramatically. Professional results are rarely accidental. They're the product of thoughtful preparation. When you follow a structured plan, your cuts align better, your joints fit tighter, your final piece looks intentional instead of improvised. Even simple projects begin to look impressive because the process behind them is organized. Time is another resource that beginners often underestimate. Building without a plan may seem flexible, but it usually takes much longer. You stop frequently to think, to measure again, to correct mistakes. You redo steps that could have been done right the first time. Hours turn into days. A project that should feel rewarding starts to feel exhausting. Energy works the same way. Decision fatigue is real. Every time you have to choose what to do next, your mental focus drops a little. With a step-by-step guide, that mental load is reduced. You spend your energy on execution instead of uncertainty. This makes woodworking more enjoyable and less stressful. Learning becomes faster when you follow proven systems. Each plan teaches you a sequence that you can reuse. You begin to understand why certain cuts come before others. You notice how stability depends on the order of assembly. You see how finishing techniques improve the final look. These lessons stay with you. Over time, you gain the confidence to modify plans or even design your own projects. Many beginners make avoidable mistakes simply because they lack guidance. They cut pieces in the wrong order, they drill holes before checking alignment, they glue joints without dry fitting first. These errors are not signs of failure, they're signs of missing information. A clear plan acts like a mentor that quietly shows you what to do and when to do it.
Material choice is another area where plans help. A good plan tells you what type of wood works best and how much you actually need. This prevents overspending and reduces waste. Instead of random buying boards and hoping they fit the design, you make intentional purchases. Smart buying builds discipline, and discipline builds long-term skill. It's also important to understand that plans do not limit creativity, they support it. When you master a structured process, you gain freedom later. Think of a musician who learns scales before improvising. The structure does not remove expression, it creates the foundation that makes expression possible. Woodworking follows the same logic. Imagine building a small coffee table using a detailed plan. You start by reviewing the material list, you prepare each piece with clear measurements, you follow the assembly order step by step. At the end, you stand back and see a stable, clean piece of furniture that you built with confidence. That experience changes how you see future projects. You stop fearing complexity because you understand the power of preparation. Another overlooked benefit is consistency. When you use reliable plans, your results become more predictable. You know what to expect. You know how long a project might take. This makes it easier to schedule your time and stay committed. Consistency transforms woodworking from a random hobby into a skill you can trust. If you want to make your journey even smoother, there's a simple collection of beginner-friendly step-by-step woodworking plans linked in the description. These plans are designed to remove confusion, save materials, and help you complete projects that actually look professional. Instead of guessing your way through the process, you can follow clear instructions and focus on building real progress. Working with a plan also reduces fear. Fear often appears when the outcome feels uncertain. When you know the steps ahead, uncertainty fades. You feel more willing to start. Starting is often the hardest part. Once you begin and see that each step is manageable, resistance decreases. Woodworking is not only about shaping wood, it's about shaping habits. Planning teaches patience, measuring teaches attention, following a sequence teaches discipline. These qualities extend beyond the workshop. They influence how you approach challenges in other areas of life. Some people believe that struggling through chaos makes them stronger. Sometimes that's true, but unnecessary struggle only slows learning. Strategic struggle, guided by structure, produces better results. A step-by-step plan does not remove effort, it directs effort toward improvement instead of confusion. Over time, you'll notice that projects built with preparation feel more satisfying. There's a quiet pride in knowing that your success was not luck, it was the result of following a process. That pride builds identity. You begin to see yourself not as someone experimenting randomly, but as someone developing real craftsmanship. The difference between abandoning a hobby and mastering it lies in the early experiences. If your first projects are frustrating and chaotic, motivation drops. If your first projects are structured and achievable, enthusiasm grows. Plans help create those positive early experiences that keep you engaged. Eventually, you may decide to design your own builds. When that moment arrives, the lessons learned from structured plans will guide you. You will understand proportions, stability, and workflow. Creativity will feel natural because it's supported by knowledge. This progression is what turns beginners into confident builders. Preparation is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of commitment. Choosing to build with a clear plan shows that you respect your time, your materials, and your own potential. When you remove unnecessary obstacles, learning becomes faster and results become more rewarding. Starting without a plan might feel bold, but building with one is what truly creates momentum. Each project completed with structure adds another layer of skill. Each success strengthens belief in what you can achieve. Over time, that belief becomes the driving force that keeps you building, improving, and creating pieces you once thought were out of reach.